Every action has an equal opposite reaction. Ever since I started waiting here, my life lost all its passion. I can't get Hamilton out of my head no matter what actions I take. I keep trying, but I just can't get any traction. I get no satisfaction having no interactions. Hey guys, I'm here. Let's get technical. I love Hamilton, you love Hamilton, so let's chat about it. Wait a sec, this doesn't seem right. Ah, that's more like it. I'm past patiently waiting, I'm passionately smashing every expectation, every act is an act of creation. This is an awesome shirt. You can get it, link in the description. Last time we talked about some of the top 10 things Hamilton got wrong. It was an awesome and truly mind-blowing discussion between literally hundreds of thousands of Hamilton fans. And of course, in that discussion, you guys told me about so many more artistic liberties Lin took when making Hamilton. So today, let's take a look at them. This is 10 more things Hamilton got wrong. First, spoilers, of course, but as some people point out, you can't spoil history, so...
Arthur Washington named her feral tomcat after him. That's true.
That's not true. The story of George Washington's wife meeting this shabby stray cat and then naming it after Hamilton was likely just made up by British newspapers looking to make crazy, sort of mocking claims about those American rebels.
You are fake news.
Lin's aware of this inaccuracy, as he commented on it on Twitter.
We'll never be free until we end slavery.
Alexander, like most people at the time, was not an abolitionist, but he also wasn't entirely for slavery either. Michelle DuRoss, who has a PhD from the University of Albany on this kind of stuff, writes, Hamilton was not an advocate of slavery, but when the issue of slavery came into conflict with his personal ambitions, his belief in property rights, or his belief of what would promote America's interests, Hamilton chose those goals over opposing slavery. In the instances where Hamilton supported granting freedom to blacks, his primary motive was based more on practical concerns rather than an ideological view of slavery as immoral. Source: Hamilton's opposition or support of slavery was completely amoral. He simply supported whatever supported his other views best.
Lawrence is in South Carolina, redefining bravery.
Lawrence wasn't in South Carolina, redefining bravery. Yeah, no, he wasn't. But it was important that he was there for the flow of the musical. Let me explain. Okay, so here's a corkboard, which you're going to use as a timeline of Lawrence's life. In March of 1779, after fighting vigorously, Congress approved his concept, not his plan, of allowing Lawrence to recruit 3,000 black soldiers for a regiment that he would be the lieutenant colonel of. So Lawrence then backflipped down to South Carolina, where he won a seat in the Senate. He proposed his plan in 1779 and everyone hated it. So he proposed it again in 1780 and everyone hated it. So he proposed it again in 1782 and everyone hated it. I don't know, maybe it had the word moist too much or something. Or, more likely, people supported slavery and Lawrence didn't. So that's what Lawrence did in South Carolina, but what did he do at the Battle of Yorktown?
1781.
Lawrence did some fighting with his buddy Hamilton, and he was a key role when chatting with General Cornwallis about Britain's surrender. And then everyone lived happily ever after. Just kidding, he died a year later. So as you can see, he wasn't in South Carolina during the Battle of Yorktown. It's much more complicated than that. Lin also addresses this on Twitter, woo!
Excuse me, miss, I know it's not funny, but your perfume smells like your daddy's got money while you slumming in this.
In the song The Schuyler Sisters, Burr can be seen hitting on Angelica, and then Angelica going into full feminist mode with her response. However, in reality, Burr was actually quite the feminist. He was much more progressive than any other character in the show, and that includes people like Angelica. Hamilton constantly argued against Burr on the topic of Burr's feminist ideals, and Burr taught his daughter Theodosia how to read and write when she was just 3, which was wildly unpopular at the time. A matter of fact, Michael Martin, Theodosia's hired tutor, documented that Burr believed that women, whatever may be said, are capable of the same genius as men. The show portrays Burr as a man with unknown and constantly changing ideals, but ultimately he was as passionate about this as Hamilton was with other issues.
Now you call me immoral, a dangerous disgrace. If you've got something to say, name a time and place, face to face.
The song Your Obedient Servant makes it seem like Burr dueled Hamilton because he was straight up frustrated with the
effects of your life on mine.
However, the reason for the duel likely wasn't Hamilton and Burr's overall relationship, but because after a political loss, it was common for a politician to duel in order to defend their honor. Burr's loss was a huge blow to his self-image, so he needed to prove that he was still a worthy politician. Also, historians suspect that going into the duel, Burr wasn't even thinking about killing Hamilton. Political duels like this one weren't usually held to get revenge, but to show that you're willing to die to protect your honor.
My name is Philip, I am a poet, and I'm a little nervous but I can't show it. I'm sorry, I'm a Hamilton with pride. You talk about my father, I cannot let it slide.
Philip Hamilton died in his famous duel on November 24th, 1801. But the songs Blow Us All Away and Stay Alive Part 2 take place before the election of 1800 in the musical. But it should be after.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's the 10 Duel Commandments.
Oh, but Alex, of course there weren't really 10 Duel Commandments at the time. That was just a thing the musical did. That sounded cool. No, that's where you're wrong. There were quote-unquote Duel Commandments, but there weren't 10. There were 25. The American Code Duelo was a set of 25 rules guiding how to conduct yourself during a duel. The code included language like, a blow, which is a shot, is strictly prohibited under any circumstances, and no dumb shooting or firing in the air is considered admissible in any case. Huh. You can read through the entire document if you want. Click the I.
Send in your second, see if they can set the record straight. Alexander.
Aaron Burr, sir.
Can we agree?
Burr wasn't, in fact, Charles Lee's second in the Lawrence v. Lee duel. A man named Evan Edwards was. I couldn't find too much on Evan himself, but I can tell you that the Edwards family was a prominent player in the Revolutionary War. Enoch Edwards, Evan's brother, was George Washington's physician.
I'm going door to door.
You're openly campaigning.
Sure.
That's new.
Honestly, it's kinda draining.
Burr.
In the election of 1800, Burr proclaims that he's putting himself out there and openly campaigning. But is this really true? Sorta. Real open campaigning didn't take full form until 1840, when William Henry Harrison brought us into the modern age of political advertising. He had slogans and speeches and bells and whistles. A matter of fact, there's a Parks and Rec episode all about that. However, Burr did significantly change the game of politics by starting campaigning practices that we now see as common. He had a campaign headquarters, called on his supporters to, well, support him and get the word out, and made a database of voters and their preferences. That's not creepy.
If you stand for nothing, Burr, what'll you fall for?
Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Who is this kid? What's he gonna do?
For our final inaccuracy, we go to Anthony Rosenthal to tell us more about Hamilton and his gang. Anthony just closed falsettos on Broadway. Yeah, this kid's a Broadway actor. He was in a show with Andrew Reynolds and Christian Borle. He saw that cast album. It's so cool.
What are we doing right now?
Listening to falsetto. Oh.
Tiny band.
Falsetto.
Take it away, Anthony.
Hey, Alex! Yeah, even though in the song Aaron Burr, Hamilton meets all of his friends in one bar, they were never in one bar at that time. Hamilton meets all of his friends in different places, and even for some different years. It took him years to find a group of friends. Hashtag relatable. Hamilton met both Burr and Mulligan before 1776, and he wouldn't meet Lawrence and shortly after Lafayette until 1777 in the Continental Army. Not to mention, the timeline of this song is doubly off here. Not only, as I just explained, did he not meet all of his friends in the same place and time, but Hamilton himself wouldn't have been there. He was there to talk to Aaron Burr about getting into college, but Hamilton applied for college in 1773 or 1774. Remember, this song takes place in
1776.
In 1776, there would be absolutely no incentive for him to talk to Burr about getting into college. Isn't that crazy? Oh, what's this? Oh, sorry, this is just the playbill from when I saw Hamilton on Broadway. I don't know how that got there.
Thanks, Anthony. Anthony has an amazing and hilarious channel. Check it out, link in the description. As a matter of fact, I guest starred in one of his videos. I'll put a link to that when the end screen comes around. And those were 10 more things Hamilton got wrong. Which one was your favorite? And what did I miss? I'm sorry. Let me know in the comments down below, and of course, if you haven't seen the original video, check that out. I actually did get to recently see the musical, and it is simply stunning in real life. I got this beautiful, beautiful program, as well as this playbill signed by the man, the legend himself, Lin-Manuel Miranda, as well as Rory O'Malley, the guy who plays the king and is just a total boss. All that is to say, remember, I'm not talking about this because I want to hate on Hamilton, but because Hamilton not only has amazing music and dancing and all that, but also starts a discussion about history and the founding of America. Take a sec and think how special it is that a piece of art Lin made can do that. It's amazing. Anthony, can you take us out?
Thanks for watching DFTBA and Explore On.
Happy Cinco de Mayo. The best taco bowls are made in Trump Tower Grill. I love Hispanics.
This really is an awesome shirt, and you really can get it. Click the link in the description or on screen right now if you want to snag one. Also, the link is an affiliate link, so by buying this shirt, you'll also be supporting Technicality and making it even more awesome, so thank you. If you want to help out the show and get yourself a dope shirt, click right here. You can also click on screen right now to see the collab I did over on Anthony's channel. Thanks, Anthony, for coming on the show. Bye, guys.